someone is considering the workshop, what would you tell them?
I would tell someone considering the workshop to just go do it. And then when they're done, they'll be glad they did.
Matter of fact.
But seriously, if they reach out and they go to the website and they go to the YouTube and they look at the free material, they'll see that Marriage Helper has principles to offer for free and content to offer for free that shows that the speakers know what they're talking about. It's not always Kimberly, it's not always Joe, whomever it is. There's value to be offered, and when you actually do go to the workshop, they structure it in such a way that they take that content, those principles, and they structure it so that it's easy to understand, it's easy to consume and digest, and in 3 days you do see remarkable transformation. The real transformation happens in the days, months, and years after the workshop, but so much transformation happens in the workshop. That is very difficult to achieve outside of it, outside of that 3-day compressed time frame where all these things are being given to you. And I've been through the workshop early in our marriage, and you don't feel like you're drinking from an information fire hose. You really feel like it's easy to consume, digest, and keep long term. And while you may forget a few of the principles here and there, they present it in such a way that I think I remember more than half of it all these years later. So, in the spirit of what they were saying, I remember pretty well, even if I don't remember the exact details of everything.
I think I've heard you say before a long time ago that the workshop saved our marriage before it needed saving.
It did.
I know I'm biased, but I believe 100% wholeheartedly in the power and the transformation that happens inside of the Marriage Helper workshop. And I would not devote my life to this mission if I did not believe it was the best thing that was out there. So I would recommend go and experience it. It is a transformation. It is amazing to see the turnaround that happens in those 3 days. I mean, it really is. Do you remember in our workshop, some of the couples?
I remember a guy at the end of day 2 calling his lawyer to withdraw his divorce filing. I remember, stories like that are very common. I thought it was really remarkable at the time. I was like, oh wow, this guy had filed for divorce and he even had an affair partner and everything. And on day 2, he basically decided to stay married.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time I was like, wow, that's a miracle. And I think it is. Perhaps I've become almost jaded in a good way that over time I've seen so many examples that are very similar to that I'm just like, Nowadays I don't consider it as special as I did back then, but it is special. It's special to them.
Right.
Especially those people who do decide to work on their marriage, stay in their marriage, end affairs, end controlling tendencies, and fall in love again.
Right. I don't know that it's any less of a miracle just because it happens so often, but I tell the team so often at Marriage Helper, I hope and pray that we never become numb to the transformation that happens in these people's relationships, because we could get 10 emails in a day of how this past weekend's workshop saved our marriage. And by the 10th one, it's like, this is commonplace. But each one of those are stories of complete turnaround. A marriage headed for divorce, a family that was about to split up, kids that were about to lose both of their parents living in one home, back together and restored. Every one of them is powerful.